I will start my reading practice from the book Effective Public Speaking by Dale Carnegie. I will start with chapter 10 How to Make Your Meaning Clear. A famous English bishop during World War I spoke to some unlettered troops at Camp Uptown. They were on their way to the trenches, but a very small percentage of them had any adequate idea why they were being sent. Yet the Lord Bishop talked to these men about international amity and Serbia's right to a place in the sun, while the half of them did not know whether Serbia was a town or a disease. He might as well, as far as results were concerned, have delivered a sonorous eulogy on the nebular hypothesis. However, not a single trooper left the hall while he was speaking. The military police with revolvers were stationed to every exit to prevent it. I do not wish to belittle the bishop before a body of collegiate men. He would probably have been powerful, but he failed with those soldiers and he failed utterly. He did not know his audience and he evidently knew neither the precise purpose of his talk nor how to accomplish it. What do we mean by the purpose of an address? Just this: every talk, regardless of whether the speaker realizes it or not, has one of the four major goals. What are they? First one is to make something clear. The second one is to impress and convince. The third one is to get action. And the final is to entertain. Let us illustrate these by a series of concrete examples. Lincoln, who was always more or less interested in mechanics, once invented and patented a device for lifting stranded boats off sandbars and other obstructions. He worked in a mechanic's shop near his law office, making a model of his apparatus. Although the device finally came to naught, he was decidedly enthusiastic over its possibilities. When friends came to his office to view the model, he took no end of pains to explain it. The main purpose of those explanations was clearness. When he delivered his immortal oration at Gettysburg, when he gave his first and second inaugural addresses, when Henry Clay died and Lincoln delivered a eulogy on his life, on all these occasions, Lincoln's main purpose was impressiveness and conviction. He had to be clear, of course, before he could be convincing, but in these instances, clearness was not his major consideration. In his talks to juries, he tried to win favorable decisions. In his political talks, he tried to win votes. His purpose then was action. 2 years before he was elected president, Lincoln prepared a lecture on inventions. His purpose was entertainment. At least that should have been his goal, but he was evidently not very successful in attaining it. His career as a popular lecturer was, in fact, a distinct disappointment. In one town, not a person came to hear him. But he did succeed, and he succeeded famously in the other speeches of his that I have referred to. And why? Because in those instances he knew his goal and he knew how to achieve it. He knew where he wanted to go and how to get there. And because so many speakers don't know just that, they often flounder and come to grief. For example, I once saw a United States congressman hooted and hissed and forced to leave the stage of the old New York Hippodrome because he had unconsciously, no doubt, but nevertheless unwisely, chosen clearness as his goal. It was during the war. He talked to his audience about how the United States were preparing. The crowd did not want to be instructed, they want to be entertained. They listened to him patiently, politely for 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour, hoping the performances would come to a rapid end, but it didn't. He rambled on and on. Patience snapped. The audience would not stand for more. Someone began to cheer ironically. Others took it up. In a moment, 1,000 people were whistling and shouting. The speaker, obtuse and incapable as he was of sensing the temper of his audience, had the very taste to continue that aroused them. A battle was on, their impatience mounted to ire. They determined to silence him. Louder and louder grew their storm of protest. Finally, the roar of it, the anger of it, drowned his words. He could not have been heard 20 feet away, so he was forced to give up, acknowledge defeat, and retire in humiliation. Profit by his example, know your goal, choose it wisely before you set out to prepare your talk. Know how to reach it, then set about it, doing it skillfully and with science. Thank you. That's it for the day.